to thinking is contagious. Been a few days now since the debate, and been listening to the just the incredible amount of lies. The Democrats, the left has always lied a lot, but this week they are on fire. I guess they really are hurting from the debate. And I noted where Biden has come out of his basement, and what the Democrats decried a few months ago, the door-to-door ground game that they said was not necessary. Now it's necessary. So that should tell you where they feel things are going. Meanwhile, they tell you that they've got record rate fundraising, but they're going to need it. I'm listening to Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo, and they're talking about the lack of decorum. First, Lemon insinuating that Trump was on drugs. He says he looked like a kid on too much Adderall, and he says sniffing. And let's remind you, Donnie, that President Trump, what he wanted before the debate was a drug test for both participants. He agreed to. The person who said they weren't going to take a drug test was Joe Biden. He wanted to check for earpieces. The person who said he would not allow third-party check for earpieces was Joe Biden. Okay, you and Chrissy then go out and you say that the lack of respect that was shown to the person that was our VP for 8 years was just unconscionable, and that Trump is a savage. Well, what about the lack of respect that was shown last night, or a few nights ago, the night of the debate, for the President of the United States by Joe Biden? Called him a clown, a racist, told him to shut up. What about the lack of respect that has been shown to the President of the United States for the last 4 years by people like you, Don Lemon, like Cuomo, like CNN's news report, well, CNN's talking heads, MSNBC, the total lack of respect by Pelosi, Schumer, the name calling, the deplorable by Hillary Clinton. What about the lack of respect shown to the President of the United States? Very convenient to point out this being flabbergasted at the lack of decorum shown by Trump. Please, you are the party. And by the way, you are the mouthpiece, Lemon. The only place that you would have a job is on CNN. Make no mistake about it. You bring absolutely nothing to the table. Okay? The Supreme Court, the issue of court stacking, Biden refuses to answer it. We know why, because Biden at one point was adamantly against it in his career, and now he needs to be non-committal because he can't lose the left, and he can't really disclose what his bosses, the left, want him to do once the Trojan horse gets in the gates, which it won't happen, but that's their philosophy. As to court stacking, they were so intent upon Ginsburg, honoring Ginsburg's wishes about waiting till after an election. Ginsburg also said that she was opposed to court stacking, that FDR made a huge mistake when he tried it. So let's keep consistency with that. And speaking about lies, the party of lies and the manifestation, the human manifestation of lying and cheating is, of course, Joe Biden. And this goes back to his failed 1988 presidential run when he had to abandon it because of plagiarism, claims of plagiarism while he was at Syracuse University. This year, his acceptance speeches, the DNC, plagiarized portions of it from a left-wing New Democratic Party, Jack Layton of the Canadian left-wing Democratic Party. He plagiarized a portion of that speech. Joe Biden, the same man who said that he started his education at Delaware State, a black college, lie. Joe Biden, who he said that the allegations against Hunter Biden brought out in the congressional report, the Ron Johnson report, that Hunter Biden received $3.5 million from the widow of the former mayor of Moscow, received $83,000 a month for being on the board of Burisma, and received hundreds of millions of dollars in funding from the Chinese into a venture fund that he had. He said, oh, that's been disproven. Where has it been disproven? That has not been disproven. That needs to be investigated. You talk about treason and not understanding the lines between what is good for a president and what is good for the country, or what is good for a vice president, what is good for the country, or what is good for a vice president's family, and what is good for the country. This is an absolute, without a doubt, needs to be investigated, because if these hold up, it's prison. It's not a sanction. It's not you can't be president. It is prison, and prison for Hunter, and prison for Joe's brothers and his sister and the whole family, because they were all involved, okay? We're talking about Joe Biden lying, saying Trump has no plan of COVID and how to reopen. Early in September, he put his reopening plan forward. Lie. Tell a lie, tell a big lie, repeat it over and over, then build your foundation on it. Joe Biden, you are a historical liar. Kamala Harris asked about the court stacking by Jake Trapper, said she wasn't going to answer it. Even Trapper called her out on it. Wonder why they're not going to answer it. When Trump asked Joe Biden, give me the name of your Supreme Court nominees if you win, silence, crickets. In June, he said he was going to nominate. He was ready to talk about who he was going to nominate. Ginsburg dies, crickets. Why? Because, again, the Trojan horse. If he gets in, then Kamala Harris and the left, the praying mantises of the left, will eliminate him as incompetent, as not being physically able to perform, mentally able to perform his duties as president, and all hell will break loose. If you vote in the Democrats in the Senate, if they win the Senate and they win the White House, the filibuster, gone. Packing of the Supreme Court, guaranteed. This country will go down the tubes. You will have Cortez Ocasio, you will have Elizabeth Warren, you will have Bernie Sanders. I'm not going to say Omar because she's history, she's a criminal and they've caught her, so she's not getting reelected. But you will have all these people telling you, writing the laws and making this country, Nicaragua, making this country Venezuela, making this country Cuba. That's what we're heading towards, okay? That's what we're heading towards. More lies. Biden saying that he's willing to have everything available on Tara Reade made available so it can be investigated. Meanwhile, all his Senate records, he's not allowed them to be released. He is fighting the release of any records, including Tara Reade records. Accused of sexual misconduct. Okay, sexual misconduct. This would have been massive investigation if it was Trump. But it's Biden and it's the left and it's allowed to happen. Let me ask you what would have happened if Obama was debating Trump last night. Roles were reversed and Trump was running for president and Obama was the incumbent, and Trump called Obama a racist. Trump called Obama a clown, and Trump told Obama to shut up. What would have happened? Trump would have probably been, his career would have been over. He probably would have been eliminated. He would have been labeled a racist, a homophobe, everything. Okay? Then they criticized Trump for eliminating the sensitivity training in the federal government. This is exactly why it has to be eliminated, because of exactly that example. What you can say to a white man in this country, if you turn around and try to say it to a minority, and especially a black man or a black woman, okay, if you try to say that to them, your career is over. Okay, so sensitivity training is a farce. All it is a control of the individuals that don't fit into your segregated profile of where you want people, of the categories of people that you want. Okay, that's all that this is. This is a bunch of BS. Okay, one of Aristotle's 6 points of how to destroy the middle class, okay, is exactly this segregation into groups and components of society, so that you can separate and divide. Okay, that is what the left is doing. Okay, you have situations where the National Center for Medical Intelligence, okay, came out and said, refuted, because another one of Biden's lies was he said that Trump knew about COVID since November. Okay, the National Center came out and said, debunked it, and said that is totally false. Another false narrative on which the left is building their platform. Biden said that he wanted the China shutdown a week before Trump did it. Lie. There's plenty of film showing where they lambasted him and Schumer and de Blasio and Feinstein, and especially de Blasio and Feinstein and Cuomo telling their people to go out and celebrate the Chinese New Year, blasting Trump for shutting down travel from China. Plenty of video of that. Lies. People, you're being disrespected by the left. You're being disrespected. They think that you have the mentality, that the attention span of nothing, that they can get away with this and tell you and convince you and that you're not going to pay attention. This man he's spineless. He is spineless. And Kamala Harris is a liar. And she is a chameleon, and she is two-faced. She will say or do whatever it takes. Okay, whatever it takes. There's no history here of consistency on either one of these individuals. But then you see all of Trump's achievements, and none of them are recognized. The Abraham Accord. You may belittle it. You may say, oh, it hasn't accomplished. Let me tell you something. They said it was impossible to get anybody in the Middle East to sit down. They've sat down. They signed an accord. There's still a lot of loose ends. I understand that. But it's a step that's never been taken. Okay? Never been taken. The funding for historical black colleges in this country was done, mandated year to year. Oh, Trump, including under Obama, Trump funded them for the next 10 years. The Washington Post, quoted in 2019, says for the first time, this was 2019, most new working age, and that's 25 to 54, most new working age hires in the U.S. are people of color. That's under Trump. Okay? Before coronavirus hit, because they're saying, oh, the economy's terrible. The economy was booming. Coronavirus hit, and the liberals and the Democrats scared the country to death, forced the hands of everyone to shut this country down when it did not need to be shut down the way it was. And that I'll stand behind. So before coronavirus, 4.5 million minority hires under Trump. Minority hires. Which accounts for 86% of the 5.2 million job hired since 2016 through 2019 under Trump. 86% minority hires. Black and Hispanic unemployment 2018 to 2019, record lows. August 2019, the black unemployment rate hit 5.5%. Okay? Overall unemployment in this country before COVID, 3.5%. With all this economic data, guess what the left did? They said you are acceptable collateral damage. Your job, your livelihood, and your life is acceptable collateral damage to get rid of Donald Trump. A mandate that they have had and vocalized and verbalized since the day he won the election that they were going to impeach him. Okay? And they have used you, they have used your family, they have used your livelihood, they have cost you grief, they have cost your kids from being able to go to school, all in the name of getting rid of Trump. The Democratic Party, the liberals, The people who profess to be so worried about you are worried about one thing and one thing only: keeping their place in the feeding trough. And let me tell you, many of the Republicans are in the same boat. Trump has upset the apple cart. Trump has made this be a situation where all of a sudden people are being scrutinized and held accountable. Look at the Veterans Administration, the disaster it was, the amount of veterans that were dying until Trump got his hands around it and fixed it, unequivocally fixed it, okay? We're talking about in the last 3 years, okay, under Obama, he averaged under Obama, the great Obama, who took over, by the way, his statistics about employment and job growth and everything, when Jimmy Johnson took over the Cowboys, they were 1-15. Okay, under Tom Landry's last year in 1989. The next year, he won 5 or 6 games. He was considered a savior. Obama took over an economy that was at rock bottom due to the financial crisis. He averaged, even with that, starting from zero, starting from a very low point, he only averaged 1.6 million new jobs per year. Trump, with the economy in much better shape, okay, because it had to get better from where it was, not because Obama did anything, because what Obama did was promote jobs offshore, kill the American supply chain, sent it offshore, built up China's economy, refunded Iran when they were on the verge of bankruptcy. Read John Bolton's book. He'll tell you, Iran was on the point of bankruptcy till Obama sent them $1.5 billion on a pallet and then sent them $100-something billion of aid. Okay, that brought them back to their feet. That was Obama. The supply chain, the Chinese economy, preferred trading status, all under Obama. They laughed at Trump when he said he was going to bring back manufacturing. They said manufacturing in America is done with. Now all of a sudden Joe Biden is, we're made in America, and under me, this is what we're going to do. Guess what? Under you, that's why we need to do it now. Because under you, they all left. Everybody left. The jobs went offshore under you. You say you're going to do this and you're going to do that. What have you done for 47 years? You haven't done squat. Oh my God! The manufacturing, the wage growth under Trump has been high, much better than under Obama. It hasn't been where he wants it, but it's been better. The Census Bureau current population survey data shows that middle class income, after adjusting for inflation, has surged $5,000 since Trump became president. $5,000 since Trump became president. 8.2% hike in middle class incomes. Under Obama, he increased it by $1,000. When the economy was terrible and he started adding these jobs, an income increased $1,000. That's it. 8 years, $1,000. Under Bush, $400. Okay? So we're looking at things and we're lying to the American people. And let me tell you, when Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo talk about decorum and respect, they're laughing in your face. They're not giving you decorum or respect because they're thinking that you're so dumb, that we're so dumb that we don't know the lies that they're telling us. There is no option other than a vote for Donald Trump. There is absolutely no option at this point. If you value family, if you value the American capitalist system, if you value opportunity, if you value the ability to have law and order in your home, be safe in your home, okay? If you value morals and decency, if you value not becoming a Venezuela, not becoming a Nicaragua, if you value those things, there's one way to go. Only one way to go. Income inequality, the big buzzword also that they've been thrown around. There's an index which is the Gini index, GINI. The income inequality index under Obama and Trump has been basically unchanged. Okay. However, under Trump, the income, the rise in income for minorities has dwarfed that of under Obama. The job creation of the minorities, like we said, has dwarfed that of under Obama. And again, Obama took over a blank slate. He could have filled it up. He did nothing. Obama did nothing other than sell this country out. The left was looking for someone so power hungry and so desperate for acclaim. And they found that in Mr. and Mrs. Obama. They found that. They found someone who was willing to say or do anything to achieve what he knew he couldn't achieve any other way. A nondescript career, a community activist, a one-term senator, and a non-distinguished academic career. And that's the guy who became president of this country, and that's the guy that is making billions off of selling you and me and all America out. Remember Michelle, the first time that she was proud to be in her adult life to be an American was when Barack was nominated for president of the United States, was chosen to run for president of the United States to represent the Democratic Party. That's the first time in her life. Michelle Obama, who sat in 2013, who held a fundraiser and said that Harvey Weinstein was a wonderful, look it up, Google it, a wonderful human being and a very close friend. And there was Ellen DeGeneres, and there was Whoopi Goldberg, and there was all of them. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein. Now the pariah, and rightfully so, Harvey Weinstein. That's Michelle's wonderful person and great friend of the Obamas. Think about that. And I finally heard Herschel Walker today. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, love Herschel. And Herschel hit the nail right on the head. He hit the nail right on the head. He said that we have, and he was commenting on the reparations that Newsom in California is pushing. That's another guy. That is just how he got to be the governor. I mean, California, you get what you settle for, and you definitely got what you deserve, because this guy is just, what can I say and do to make myself be everybody's favorite person? Reparations. And like Herschel said, this doesn't do anything. Who are you going to give reparations to? If you start giving reparations to slaves, where are the slaves? None of them are alive that were slaves. Are you also going to give reparations to the Native Americans? Are you also going to give reparations to Latinos who have suffered from discrimination? Are you going to give reparations to the Cubans who came in 1960? Are you going to give reparations to the Italians and the Polish and the Ukrainians, everyone that's come to this country and faced racism? The problem is that when these groups came here, they didn't come with a sense of entitlement. They came here to bust their butts and work. Okay? And the problem that we have in this country, and it's not limited to just minorities, it's limited to the problem that we have in this country. It's a cultural problem. It's not a racial problem, I've said many times. Is this feeling of that you're owed something. And that because a neighbor has a brand new car, you should have a brand new car. And because your neighbor put a swimming pool in his house, you're entitled to a swimming pool. No. All men are created equal. After they're created, where they go and what they become is up to them. Accountability is what's needed here. Accountability and realizing that this is the land of opportunity. We've said this, we've given this example a million times. Crossing the Florida Straits on a raft with your kids in tow. Jose Fernandez, the ex-Marlin pitcher, God rest his soul, tells the story about him and his mom on a raft as a little kid, falling in the water, somebody pulling him out. That's somebody comes here for because they're looking to be uh, uh, racially profiled, or because they're looking to be mistreated, or to be treated as second-class citizens. Is that why they come here? No, they come here to flee. They come here fleeing what Cortez Ocasio stands for. They come here fleeing for what Omar stands for. They come here fleeing what Bernie Sanders stands for. They come here fleeing what Elizabeth Warren stands for. That's what they come here fleeing. And we're going to let them in? We're going to let this Trojan horse in so that he can then bring his band of bandits into this country and try to undermine what is this country? No, no. I'm tired of hearing this. I'm tired of hearing this. If the narrative was true, if there was validity, if there was an option, believe me, I am not blinded by Donald Trump. I understand all his warts. I understand all his issues. I fully comprehend that he is not the person that I would draw up to be the president of this country. However, in his demeanor, his actions, the way he acts, that's not me. I'm not a fan of that. But I will tell you this, as far as what is best for this country, it's not even close. It is not even close. There's not even a second choice. And a matter of fact, the choice that we have on our table now is paramount to leading this country to a path of destruction. I've gone long today because I really am tired of what I've heard all week long. The lies and the total lack of respect there is for you and me in this country at this point. Go out and vote. Make this a landslide for Trump. And let me tell you something. I want you, please, if you feel this passion, if you think that I'm on the right track here, I need you to share this. I need you to subscribe to this. I need you to get other people to listen to this, because we all have a lot of skin in this game. Thank you. Have a good night.